Good evening. I'm Sugar Land Mayor Joe Zimmerman. Welcome to the City of Sugar Land City Council meeting for Tuesday, February the 20th. A little bit about our agenda. In a minute, we're going to have a moment of silence, and then we're going to have a prayer, invocation, and then we're going to do the pledge. And I'm going to invite some special guests up to do the pledge to both the nation's flag as well as the Texas flag. So at this time, I'd ask everybody to stand, please. Many of you know that we lost one of our employees, Joseph Aponte, 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday due to some unfortunate circumstances. And I'd like to request that we do a moment of silence for Joseph and his service to the city and also for his family, respectfully. Thank you. Now, if you'll bow your heads with me, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for our city. We thank you for our residents. We thank you for our great staff, our first responders. We ask that you would be with this council. Give us wisdom tonight to make the decisions that would be pleasing to you. Father, we ask that you look out after our military, our special forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard. Our special forces and those that protect our freedoms. We are the greatest nation in the world. Father, we thank you for the many blessings, and we ask that you watch over us tonight as we seek to do your work. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Now I've got the pleasure of introducing Miss Marie Jolie Day. And she's with the State Thespian Board Chair, and Mackenzie Chang, the State Thespian Board Successor. So you're going to come in as the incoming chair. And I had the pleasure of meeting with Marie, and she came by, and it's easy to see why she has such a passion for what she does. And we've got a proclamation tonight, but I want her to introduce the item to you so that we all know how important this is. Marie?
Thank you. Hi, as Mr. Mayor Zimmerman said, my name is Marie Jolie Day, and I'm a senior at Lamar Consolidated High School. But for the purpose of today, I'm a state thespian officer. Now, many of you probably don't know what that means, and it means that I'm an arts advocate on the behalf of the students in the state of Texas. Now, if you had told me that I was going to be standing in front of you 2 years ago, I would have said, first, I have rehearsal and can't be here, and second, that I didn't know that students could do that. Now, I stand before you to speak about a passionate plea of recognition and celebration for something that is truly invaluable to our schools: theater arts education. Now, as we're here together to declare Theater in Our Schools Months, it's essential to underscore the profound importance of nurturing creative and artistic expression. Theater isn't merely about putting on a show or learning lines or painting a pretty picture for everyone. It's about critical thinking skills among our youth. According to the University of Arkansas, students who participate in theater consistently outperform their peers in standardized testing, attendance, and academic achievement. This speaks volumes about what it does for our cognitive skills. But let's not just reduce it to numbers. There's something about giving students a platform to not only build community for themselves, but their peers that is truly a diverse perspective. To have the opportunity to walk a mile and express our emotions and world in somebody else's views creates empathetic leaders in a way that none of us could have expected. Fostering the diverse backgrounds of individuals has been a true joy of mine and why I choose to stand here today to advocate for arts education in our high schools. Moreover, theater education cultivates essential life skills far beyond the stage, like collaboration, communication, problem-solving, adaptability, and I could go on and on and on, but it prepares us to face challenges in college, career, and communities. Also, I will say that there is quite the economic benefit. The arts advocacy and arts performance industries have $166 billion in economic stimulation every year. So outside of just ourselves, it stimulates our local communities, economies, and cultural landscape. I'm proud to call myself an artist. I'm proud to call myself an actress, even if it won't be forever. And after high school, many of us leave. But what it did for us forever changes who we are. I'm moving on to work in business at the University of Austin McCombs Business School, and I could not have done that without the skills that I've been taught through theater. I couldn't even spoke to you today without the skills that I've been taught. So, thank you for being here today to not only recognize arts advocacy in Texas, but the importance of what it does for students like me and Mackenzie. So, thank you.
We've got a proclamation, Theaters in Our Schools Month, March of 2024, whereas theater in our schools aim to raise public awareness of the impact of theater education and draw attention to the need for more access to quality programs in and out of school for all students. And whereas theater education programming helps students develop pro-social behaviors along with problem-solving and creative thinking skills. These competencies are key to developing both strong peer relationships as well as sensitivity and empathy to and for others. And whereas theater helps students build self-esteem. Sorry about that. Helps students build self-esteem through drama. The act of performing can help students and youth recognize their potential I think we can probably solve that. We lost the mic, though. Potential success and improve their confidence. Theater exposes young people to new vocabulary and ways of communicating through the arts of dance, acting, and music. And whereas the City of Sugar Land is dedicated to raising awareness for the importance of arts education in the Texas secondary schools and beyond, and we present this on behalf of City Council. Marie? If you guys, council, if you can come down. Let me see if our mic's on. It's back on. So we're going to do the pledge to the nation's flag and the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you.
And now I'm going to ask that we have our next recognition is for Jennifer Melendez, a Level 3 Court Clerk certification. And I'm going to ask Pat Riffle, the Court Administrator of Friendswood Municipal Court. Ask Pat to come down. Kendra Beverly, Municipal Court Administrator. If you all could come down, and Kendra, I'll let you do the presentation.
Mayor, City Council, tonight we are here to congratulate Jennifer Melendez in this huge accomplishment. She has put in many, many hours of hard work to obtain her Level 3 certification, clerk certification, and I'm gonna hand the mic over to Pat and let her tell you a little bit more about the program.
Thank you, Kendra. My name is Pat Riffle. I'm here representing the Texas Court Clerks Association. I'm the training and testing coordinator and also the certification program financial manager. I appreciate you letting us come here today to bestow this great honor on Jennifer. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what it takes. I know we all get certifications, like, okay, I got certified again, no biggie. Well, let me explain to you what this one means. Jennifer has been with the city for about a little over 5 years. Prior to joining the Sugar Land team, she worked for Fort Bend County Courts. She started working on her Level 3 certification approximately 2 years ago and persisted in completing the requirements. To qualify for a certified municipal court clerk, a clerk must complete the requirements of 3 different levels, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Each level requires 40 hours of continuing education in a 4-hour exam. And then to get 3 on top of those requirements, you have to attend what we call a level 3 assessment clinic to decide if you're worthy. You have to go to a court administrator school. You have to read 15 leadership and management books, and then you have to write a journal on those books and the observation that you do in courts around the state. You're required to get 40 hours of observation in courts of small, medium, and large jurisdiction. After that, you submit the journal to the state. You have 4 state readers that read the journal for you, send it back, and you become level 3. I know I said that all in a really quick paragraph. That's years worth of dedication and work. And I wanted to, y'all should be very proud. You have number 142 out of a state of more than 4,000 court clerks. So. I also just want to let you know you also have 2 others. If you get a 4th, you're the only one in the state with 4. Right now, Sugar Land and Webster are the only 2 in the state with 3. So I'm looking forward to come back when you get your 4th. Hey, come on. I'm looking forward to come back when you get your 4th. But today's Jennifer's day, and I just want to tell y'all she's been so gracious through this process. I'm just so impressed with her, and y'all are lucky to have her.
Yeah, I will just add that we are extremely proud of Jennifer. She did a lot of work outside of work to achieve this accomplishment, and it is a huge accomplishment. And being the 3rd one in our group, and we have one coming up next month too. So we are well on our way.
We're gonna do a picture. I think I saw your family out there. Judge Landine, if you'd come up, family. Friends, get a picture. Council members, if you could come down. Which is public comment, and anyone that wants to comment on one of the items on the agenda is asked to come forward, name, address. You'll be limited to 3 minutes. We've got some people signed up. I'm going to go ahead and call them. We've got 4 people that are signed up. I'm going to call them up. They'll be limited to the items that are on the agenda. Please tell us what item you want to speak on. First up is Ms. Patel. And there are 3 items that I've been told that you want to speak on. Item number 6B. There are 3 items that you have to speak under. One's community events attended or scheduled, other governmental meetings attended or scheduled, or the council meetings scheduled. Comments will be limited to those 3 things.
Yes, sir. I want to speak on a community event.
Go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Sugar Land City Council, you know why we are here today. You see us with our cafes. You, the city of Sugar Land, tout how diverse Sugar Land is and that we are a city of immigrants. You go to our temples, mosques, and churches asking for donations and votes for your campaigns. Remember that what you say is true. We do make up most of Sugar Land. Immigrants, Black and brown people, we do make up most of Sugar Land. Remember today when you run for re-election. I grew up in Sugar Land. I know the history of Sugar Land as a plantation. I know this history is purposely hidden. I understand the quiet racism of Sugar Land and Sugar Land City Council members very well. I have no faith in your ability to do the right thing. I have no faith in your will or desire to do or say anything at all to stop the genocide in Gaza. We, immigrants and children of immigrants, proud Desis, proud Mexicanas, proud Palestinians, we are a generation that will be heard. Free Palestine and save Gaza is what we say and what we demand. It is your responsibility as human beings with power as the City Council of Sugar Land to advocate for permanent ceasefire in Gaza. But again, I have no faith in your will and your desire to do the right thing.
If you could keep it down, we don't have any clapping. And if we can't abide by that, we'll ask that you be removed from council chambers. It's not just you all. We don't abide by that on anybody. Our next guest is Sarahi Garcia.
Hello, Mayor and council people. Like you said, my name is Sarahi Garcia, and I'm actually here regarding city manager report about council meetings. I was actually here last council meeting on the 6th, and I spoke to Ms. Linio regarding coming to public comment to speak in regards to the genocide that is happening in Palestine right now. Ms. Linio informed me that we did not have to be on the agenda in order to speak, and she also told me that for us to get on the agenda, that we needed to come here to speak to you guys to ask you to be put on the agenda. Furthermore, she told me we should organize, get some people out here, so maybe we can touch some hearts. I don't know if that's a possibility. But another thing that I did want to say is that I received a very disturbing phone call today regarding one of your council people here. I'm not sure who it was, and I'm not sure how ethical or how legal this was, but having Sugar Land police call and intimidate one of our organizers is not okay, and that's what happened today. So one of the organizers was called and told that we couldn't show up, or we shouldn't show up, or we would be arrested. That's intimidation tactics. That's unacceptable. Now, we're supposed to be a free government. We're supposed to abide by the law of the land, which is the Constitution. The Constitution grants me free speech. So I should be able to come and voice my concern to you elected officials. Like Ms. Patel said, you have power. You were elected. You are in a place of privilege. You can speak out and say something about the atrocities that are being committed right now in Palestine. Over 30,000 people have been murdered. Children, half of those being children. There's no health care, there's no food, there's no water. People are dying. 25% of the population of Gaza Palestine is dying right now due to starvation. What are we doing here? Why are we not lifting up our voices when you have the power to say something? You represent a very diverse community. Act like it, please. Please do something, say something, show your humanity. Like I said, 1.5 million
seconds,
people
ma'am.
have been displaced, okay? And now Israel is coming after those that have been displaced to Rafah. And where are these people supposed to go? This is a genocide, an ethnic cleansing that we are funding. You should say
10
and
seconds,
do
ma'am.
something about it.
Our next guest is Amina Mohammed.
Hello. Today I stand before you to address a pressing issue that requires our immediate attention and action here in Sugar Land. As a licensed clinical social worker and with a private practice and small business in the city of Sugar Land, it's my moral and ethical duty to advocate for my clients who are suffering from the secondary trauma because of the ongoing genocide in Gaza. Taking action with a ceasefire resolution in one of the most diverse and proactive cities in the country, we will lead the way in making a statement against our current federal administration's complicity in this famine and genocide using our tax dollars. This genocide is causing immense physical and psychological suffering, loss of innocent lives, and widespread destruction. It is our duty as responsible citizens to call for an immediate permanent ceasefire and advocate for justice in this war against innocent women, children, and men. And I know I've actually met many of you who come to our mosques, who come to many of our temples and houses of worship, and y'all ask for our votes. And I understand that many of you have amazing, good hearts. I just want you to understand what's happening in Gaza isn't only affecting the Gazans, it's affecting families here in Sugar Land, families that vote for you, people that were not allowed to come back, even though they're American citizens and they're Palestinian American citizens, but they are having difficulty coming back into the United States, and we have to speak out for them. I know that y'all all have good hearts, and I just want y'all to know that it is our responsibilities as human beings to stand for these people, to stand for the people that are suffering here in our town, in our city, in our county, as well as the genocide that's happening overseas, because it's psychologically affecting all of us. For the past 4 months, we have people coming into our offices crying. It's a lot. It's taking a toll on us. And I just want to say, please, we really need a permanent ceasefire resolution from our city so y'all can put pressure on our federal government. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next guest is Sana Hashmani.
Hello. Okay. I'm not much of a public speaker. My name is Sana Dhanani. I'm here to ask each and every one of you elected officials to work with us on issuing a public statement in support of a ceasefire. It's these types of things that urge our federal government and our congressional leaders to actually support a ceasefire as well. I know you guys care as well. I mean, I can't say anything here that the three other individuals haven't already said. You see the news, you see what's happening, you see the people coming and protesting almost every weekend here in Houston, and now it's going to be here in Sugar Land. So we're asking you guys to work with us, issue public statements in support of a ceasefire, write letters. You guys are our leaders. We're looking to you for help. So take that for what it is, please. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move now on to the consent agenda. I'm going to pull item number 3C. I'm also going to pull 3G. We're going to go ahead and take action on those items, and then I will recuse myself on C and G. And our Mayor Pro Tem will take over. Do I have a motion? I got a motion by Lane. I've got a second by Jacobson. You'll vote this time, please. Go ahead and do a hand vote. Oh, here it comes. We'll go ahead and do a hand vote. In favor? Any opposed? And it passes 7-0. Thank you, council members.
Item 3C, consideration of and action on City of Sugar Land Resolution Number 24-08. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Sugar Land, Texas, finding that the statement of intent of CenterPoint Energy Resources Corporation, DBA CenterPoint Energy, Entex, and CenterPoint Energy to change the rate filing within the city should be denied, finding that the city's reasonable rate case expenses shall be reimbursed by the company, requiring notice of this resolution to the company and legal counsel. I got a motion by Watley. Second. And a second by Lane. Vote please. And it passes 6-0 with Mayor recusing himself. Item 3G, consent agenda. Consideration of and action on a contract with CenterPoint Energy Houston Electric LLC in the amount of $98,876 for the Settlers Way Boulevard streetlight conversions. Do I have a motion by Lane? Second. Second by Ferguson. Vote at this time, please. And the motion carries 6-0. Can you call the mayor back, please?
Item number 4. Let me get to it here. Item number 4, donations. 4A, consideration of and action on acceptance of monetary donations in the amount of $113,991.61 for the City of Sugar Land Animal Services and future shelter construction costs. And we've got with us Miss Cindy King, our Animal Services Manager. Cindy.
Throughout the year from the residents, non-residents, and businesses of the City of Sugar Land. City policy requires that monetary donations be formally accepted by City Council. The animal shelter has received 77 donations for a total amount of $113,991.61 since the last acceptance of animal services donations by the City Council in September. We're going to recognize all of those donations over $250 individually. Nadine Scott, Douglas K., Ruth McMahon, all donated $250. Sadia Udden, Ajit Thakar, and there was an anonymous donation for $300. Neff elementary students donated $400. Rajan Haganari donated $500, another anonymous of $800. PetSmart Charities donated their $1,000 for us. Phyllis Rayburn, $1,000. Donna Hammond, $1,000. Thomas Kruskop, $1,500. Kelly Gregory, $2,500. And Buddy and Janice Hunter have donated $100,000 to us. We don't have contact information for many of our donors and have invited those that we could reach out to come in. But with that, Animal Services recommends the City Council accept the donations in the amount of $113,991.61. $110,200 will be towards shelter expansion. $13,791.61 will go to animal shelter donation funds.
Cindy, you want to introduce our guest?
Yes, I would like to introduce Buddy Hunter. He and his wife donated $100,000 for shelter expansion.
Thank you, buddy. Shouldn't be too hard to get a motion on this, would it? Go ahead, Carol.
Yes, I'd just like to thank everyone for their contributions, and I'd particularly like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Buddy Hunter for their extraordinarily generous donation to our animal shelter and future construction costs. And with that, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Kamala got the motion, but you can have the second. Any comments from council members? Buddy, again, thank you to you and Janice both. I know she couldn't be here tonight. Want to make sure that you realize how much we appreciate that. I've got a motion, I've got a second. If you'll vote at this time, please. I think I can guess what this will be. That's a 7-0 vote. Thank you, council members.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Buddy. Item number 5, audited financial statement. 5A, receive for filing the fiscal year 2023 annual comprehensive financial report and auditor's opinion. And we have with us Jing Chow, our Director of Finance, and Miss Sarah Roberts with Weaver LLC. Rob, are you going to introduce Jing?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Where'd she go? There she is. Hey, Jing. Good evening, Mayor and Council. With us today, we have Jing Chow. She'll be presenting to you for the first time in front of Council. A little bit about Jing. She started her role as Director of Finance with the city in January 2024. Prior to joining the city of Sugar Land, Jing worked for the city of Dallas for 24 years. During her time with the city of Dallas, Jing played executive leadership roles in multiple departments that included the Office of Budget Management, the city's Comptroller's Office, Dallas Police Department, and Sanitation Services. Jing's experience is concentrated in municipal budget and development and monitoring, financial accounting, internal audits, and long-range financial planning. Jing has a bachelor's degree in finance and a master's degree in accounting, and she is a certified CPA. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jing.
Welcome, Jing.
Thank you, Rob. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. We're here tonight to present you the annual audit result on our financial statement for the fiscal year 2023. After your receiving of the report, it will be sent to the City Secretary's office. It will become public record. So under the Texas Local Government Code, all municipalities are required to have their financials audited annually by independent public accountant. So the audited financial statement, along with the auditor's opinion, should be filed to the municipal secretary's office within 180 days after the fiscal year is ended. Actually, for City of Sugar Land, we have set the standard higher. So for the annual audit, the goal set in the city's financial policy is to have the audit filed no later than the second council meeting in February, which is this meeting, for filing the 2023 financial statements. So that's what we're doing right now. So Weaver and Tedwell has been the city's independent auditor since 2020. So this is the 4th annual audit done by Weaver. The audit field work started in December. The city staff and the engagement team from Weaver have been working diligently and tirelessly since then. And actually, I would like to use this opportunity to recognize our finance staff. Here with me, we have Glenda Aragon, Deputy Director of Finance, and Ariel Carmona, Controller, and also Jennifer Brown, our Special Project Manager. Of course, and everybody, all the team members from Finance Department who cannot be here with us, thank you all for the job well done. So now the audit is concluded, and our auditor has issued an unmodified, which means it's a clean opinion on our financial statements. Sarah Roberts, she's the engagement partner from Weaver. So she will give us the audit result summary. So welcome. Thank you, Sarah.
Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. All right. Thank you for having me this evening. Jing already introduced me. My name is Sarah Roberts. I'm a CPA. I'm the audit partner with Weaver for the city. This is our 4th fiscal year working with you all and auditing your financial statements. I have a brief agenda tonight on the screen. Happy to answer questions at any time if there's anything else you would like to cover. Our audit process, Jing already covered it at a high level for you. The standards applicable to our audit are the standards that are applicable to governments that expend a certain threshold of federal awards. So you expend more than $750,000 in federal money, and therefore you are subject to federal audit standards. So not only are we following the audit standards of the AICPA and generally accepted government audit standards, we're also following the uniform guidance, which are the federal standards for your financial statement audit. Those standards require that we take a risk-based approach to the audit. We perform substantive testing in our audit procedures to support our opinions, and we also focus on internal controls and compliance requirements relevant to the financial statements as well as to federal awards. At the conclusion of our audit, we issue reports, including our opinion on the financial statements and our opinion on compliance. We also issue a report on internal controls and other compliance matters. And here is a summary of our results. We issued unmodified opinions. Those are the clean opinions on both the financial statements and on federal award compliance. We also issued a clean report on internal controls. That means we had no findings of material weaknesses or significant deficiencies, and no findings of material noncompliance in general. Our major federal program this year was ARPA, American Rescue Plan Act. For fiscal year 2023, the city recognized about $3.8 million in ARPA expenditures. Moving on to overview of the financial statements, very high level overview here. This first slide shows a condensed comparative view of your statement of net position. If you have a printout or a PDF of the financial report, this is on page 21. This shows the city's balance sheet as a whole. The city has a number of individual operating funds. This financial statement shows the consolidation of all of the funds presented in one view on a full accrual basis, meaning that this shows all the long-term assets, long-term liabilities, which are often excluded from the fund financial statements. So what you see here is basically overall consistency, overall net position, which is you could compare to equity if we were talking about a non-governmental entity, increased by 6%, total assets, total liabilities, each increased by 6 and 7%. So very consistent 2023 compared to 2022. Moving on to a more narrow focus on the city's general fund. This is the main operating fund of the city. Referring to the financial report, the statement of revenues and expenditures for the general fund can be found on page 28. This shows on the screen a 5-year view, and you can see as expected revenues trending up. That's the orange bar. Expenditures generally trending up, staying a little bit below revenues. That's the gray bar. Of course, 2020 is the anomaly year for reasons that we're all aware. And then fund balance. Anytime your revenues exceed expenditures, your fund balance is going to grow. The thing to look at here as emphasis on this slide is unassigned fund balance. Unassigned fund balance of your general fund is your operating reserve. That's the amount of fund balance, which is the difference between assets and liabilities. That's your net remaining fund balance that is not restricted, committed, assigned, or designated for any other purpose. Those are your operating funds. In this ratio that I've included here for fiscal year. So a 49% ratio, which we see in 2023, means that your existing operating reserves, in the very unlikely scenario that your revenues ceased, no more sales taxes, no more property taxes, very unlikely scenario, right? Your existing fund balance could fund 49% of the fiscal year's expenditures, which means of an annual fiscal year, that's about 6 months. So putting a stop in time, if you needed to, you have 6 months of operating reserves at the end of the last fiscal year. So that's a comfortable position to be in. Lastly, I just want to touch on some expectations for next year. The first one is, and we've discussed this with your management as well as your audit committee, pension liability. These last couple of years, we have seen some swings And what that is a function of is not so much the pension liability itself. This is the Texas Municipal Retirement System, TMRS pension liability, but more so of the pension system assets. With the volatility in the market and the interest rates and everything that we've seen happening the last couple of years, those pension system assets are responsive to changes in the markets. And so we see appreciation and depreciation of the assets, which means we have a converse effect on the net liability. Pension assets go up, that means the net liability goes down, and vice versa. And so that flows through to the city's financial statements. We've seen some ups and downs. We saw it down last year, we saw an up this year. I think next year we see it go back down, and then hopefully kind of even out. American Rescue Plan Act, we do expect this will be the major federal program for fiscal year 2024. As of the end of 23, there was about $7.4 million of remaining funding in that program. So we'll see some of that funding flow through 24. And then lastly, there's a new accounting standard, GASB 100, which covers accounting changes and error corrections, which will be effective for fiscal year 2024. This is mostly a clarification, a little bit of enhancement of existing standards, not something that's going to require new systems and policies and procedures to implement, so nothing groundbreaking there. That's it. Just would like to reiterate a big thank you to the accounting and finance staff. Really appreciate the collaboration and cooperation that we receive throughout the process, and thank you to all of you for the opportunity to work with your organization. Very much appreciated, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions for Sarah? Anybody? Jing, thank you. Glenda, Jing, your staff, thank you very much for all that you've done. Sarah, thank you. Another very, I guess, a favorable opinion from our standpoint. I think we'll need a motion to accept this. So can I get a motion?
Motion approved.
Got a motion by Kermali. Do I have a second? Second. Got a second by Lane. You'll vote this time, please. And it's, there we go, 7-0. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Item number 6, City Council, City Manager reports, City Council member reports. A, William.
Yay for me. So I'll leave all the good stuff for you guys and just remind everyone in the world that my favorite Blues restaurant is officially open right around the corner, and I was there Saturday and today, and I'm so happy to have a new tenant in our city, and I'm so happy that the circus is in town. It's just a really cool time to be in Sugar Land.
Jennifer.
Well, I've been hopping around in Lamar CISD and particularly at George Ranch High School and Randall High School, where they are adding on classrooms to prepare for the exponential growth in the area. However, we're still trying to fill all the teacher slots, so that's still a challenge. But the kids are very well behaved, I'm glad to say.
Deshaun.
Mayor, this last week I had the opportunity to sit down with Kindred Hospital on First Colony Boulevard, their COO, Hala Alamendin, and she gave me a tour of their facility. I had no idea they had so many critical care beds right there in Telfair and First Colony, 18 of them to be exact, but it's a long-term facility and beautiful facility on the inside, and she's doing a great job. Also, just a reminder that early voting started today. Just make sure that everyone votes. Unfortunately, only less than 10% of the people will go out to vote. Hopefully, we can get more to come out and vote, and early voting starts today through March 1st.
And the election's on March 5th.
Correct.
Suzanne.
Thank you, sir. Saturday the 10th, I attended the Behind the Badge Gala, and that is always one of the best highlights of the year because you can wear blue jeans and come comfortable and support our first responders in Fort Bend County. Many of our first responders from our city were there. It was good to see them there and support them.
Carol.
I attended a lion dance to celebrate the Lunar New Year, just right out here in Town Square. And then I also attended First Colony's celebration of the Lunar New Year.
Stuart.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended and also co-sponsored the Houston Area Alliance of Black School Educators annual teacher recognition ceremony. And what's special about it this year is that it's chaired by Dr. Rhonda Mason from Fort Bend ISD, and the School Board Member of the Year from this region was chosen, and that's our own Dr. Shirley Rose Gilliam from Fort Bend ISD. And I also was at Highlands HOA last evening.
I'd like to remind everybody we've got the State of the City is this Friday. Mike and I will join with the council members. It's at 7:30 a.m. over at the Sugar Land Marriott. Mike, City Manager report.
Thanks, Mayor. I find a way to make you look good every year at the State of the City, Mayor, so I'll try to do that again this year. Just real quick, wanted to thank a number of people. Thank this council, thank all of our staff for the support with the loss of one of our employees, Joseph Aponte, and all the other cities that stepped up to be a part of it. And specifically, and I can name all the cities, there's a ton of them, but the city of El Campo, the scene of driving into that city and seeing hundreds of employees lining the street, the job that their staff did, their city managers, want to specifically thank the city of El Campo because they were there for us when we needed them, and I wanted to thank our staff for all stepping up and doing that. Most of the response over the weekend, and just wanted to. I'm really proud of the team. That's it, Mayor.
Now we're going to move to item number 7, closed executive session. Closed executive session as authorized by 551 Texas Government Code in accordance with 551087, deliberation regarding economic development negotiations, and we're going to go ahead and recess into the council dining room. Thank y'all for coming tonight.